everyone. Do you want to boost your score from band 6 to band 8 in the writing section? In today's lesson, we are going to learn how to write a process diagram essay in IELTS Academic Writing Task 1. We will start by understanding the correct essay structure. Next, we will learn the appropriate grammar and vocabulary. Then, we will go through each stage of describing the process diagram. Finally, we will learn how to produce a band 8 answer. So make sure that you watch till the end of this video to learn the right strategy. If you find our videos useful, make sure that you like and share our videos. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on the important lessons we have in store for you. This is your IELTS expert Sakshi. Now, are you ready for today's lesson? Let's dive in.
Let's have a look at the question. It says, the diagram gives information about the process of making pulp and paper. So you can see the process diagram on the right, and you can see the different stages. Now, what are we asked to write? We have to summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. And you can see the word limit. So at least you should write the essay in 150 words. You can exceed the word limit, that's not a problem, but do not write under 150 words. Now let's have a look at the essay structure. So it involves a 4-step structure, that is introduction, followed by the overview, and then you write 2 detailed body paragraphs. Let's understand each one of them in detail, starting with the introduction, where you just paraphrase the question. So what is paraphrasing? You simply rephrase the sentence by using different words. The meaning should be the same, but the words are changed. So let's see how we have paraphrased the question here. The question says, the diagram gives information about the process of making pulp and paper. Now let's see the paraphrased form. The diagram illustrates how rough paper and refined paper are manufactured from raw materials. So gives information is changed into illustrates. You can write more words. Let's say demonstrate. Now we have included a few details, that is rough paper and refined paper being manufactured from the raw materials. Now, of course, you cannot change the words like paper and pulp, right? You can always change the functional words and take up some details from the diagram. Next, let's have a look at the overview. In the overview, you just summarize what's going on in the diagram. You can include the following details: how the process begins and ends, the number of stages, and the final product. Let's see how we write it. You can ideally begin this body paragraph with the word overall. Overall, it is clear that the manufacturing of pulp from raw materials involves a 4-stage process. Then it is processed further to make rough paper for boxes and refined paper for printing. So you can see the 4-stage process involved here to make the pulp. And you can also see what are the final products. Now let's have a look at the body paragraphs. How do we structure it? Let's see. Now in the subsequent body paragraphs, we are going to describe each stage in detail. Now ideally you should write 2 or more distinct paragraphs so that there is some kind of clarity and coherence in the details that you give. So here I have included a part of the diagram so that I can just write about this particular section of the diagram in one body paragraph. And we can take up the rest of the details in the subsequent body paragraphs. So let's see how we write it. To begin with, trees are felled into logs. Then they are chipped and mixed with the other purchased chips and fed into a digester. So you can see how we begin with the trees, which are felled into logs. You can see the chipping machine, right? So along with the purchased chips, they go into the digester here. Next, you can see the pulp, the washers, pulp screen. Finally, they give you the clean pulp. So the resultant pulp undergoes a 2-stage cleaning process of washing and screening. Now, did you notice the verbs here? Are felled, are chipped, mixed, fed, undergoes. How do we determine what kind of tense or verbs we should use. For this, we need to understand the grammatical structure. Here, it is very important to understand the difference between active and passive voice. Let's begin with the active voice. Now, usually we describe the natural processes with the active voice. The major highlight of this particular structure is that here the focus is on the subject who does the action. For example, workers crushed the rocks. Here, our subject is workers. And what action do they do? Crushing the rocks. So here, the highlight or the focus is on the doer of the action, that is the workers. Hence, this is active voice. Now, what is passive voice? Now, in passive voice, we do not give emphasis on the doer of the action, right? What the subject is doing. The major emphasis is on the activity being done. Maybe the subject is not relevant or unknown. For example, the letters are taken to the delivery station. Now here we have not mentioned that someone took the letters to the delivery station, right? Here we are only focusing on the activity, that is the letters being taken to the delivery station. So this is something that we have to incorporate even in our process diagram, wherein we clearly don't know who does a particular action, or maybe it is not relevant. So you can use passive voice in your process diagram wherever it is relevant. Next, we should also understand what relative clause is. Now, one of the most important clause is after which can refer to the whole of the action of the preceding clause or sentence. For example, the milk is then filtered, after which it is sent to be bottled and packed. So after which, so you can see there's some action which goes on before it, and then we mention the subsequent action. So finally, this is how a body paragraph with the appropriate grammatical structure looks like. Now, did you notice that we have used specific words here? To begin with, and then. So they are connectors. Let's learn more about them. It is essential to get acquainted with this particular vocabulary, which is very important for your coherence and cohesion. So these are connectors to show sequence. So in the process diagram, you usually show the beginning, the middle, and the ending. So these are the words that you can use to show the different sequences of the stages of the process diagram. Even these phrases are useful in connecting two or more stages. Now that we have understood how to write the introduction, overview, and the body paragraphs with the relevant grammar and vocabulary, let's try the next body paragraph. Now we can describe the rest of these stages in detail. So this is how it looks like. The cleaned pulp is used to make rough paper and refined paper. For producing rough paper, the pulp is formed using a pulp former, dried in a dryer, and fed into a pulp reed. Next, they are cut using a pulp cutter, and paper bales are obtained, which can be used for making boxes. For producing refined paper, the pulp undergoes additional cleaning. The doubly cleaned pulp is dried in dryers. After that, it is pressed using pulp presses and paper presses. Finally, it is dried and rolled into papers. The refined paper thus obtained is used for printing. So you can see the relevant vocabulary here and the grammar. So next, after that, finally, they are connectors. So all in all, this is how your process diagram essay looks like. So if you follow this step-by-step framework, I'm pretty sure that it's a piece of cake for you, isn't it? If you are aiming for a good score, you definitely need individual attention and an expert who can provide a roadmap for your preparation. For the same, you can book our free demo class so that you get real-time experience of one-on-one classes in which you can get all your doubts cleared and get the training from the expert certified trainers. So what are you waiting for? Check the link in the description box and hurry and book your free demo class.
Was it that difficult? No, right? If you follow these steps, you're one step away from acing your writing section and achieve your desired band. If you want more insightful lessons, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, share our videos and subscribe to our channel so that you get notified when we come up with new videos. That's all for today. This is your IELTS expert Sakshi signing off. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.